Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm just going to sit with you and have a very honest, real talk about how I've been doing. So it depends how long you've been following me on here and Instagram, and if you know me in real life. Basically, I've struggled with anxiety, depression, OCD since I was pretty young, and I've been in and out of therapy. I've had new diagnoses, and overall the last couple of years I've not been as open as normal about how I've been doing. So for me, 2021 and 2022 were some years I probably wouldn't want to relive. I feel like I lost people I never expected to lose and had to learn things that I didn't think I would ever have to learn. And honestly, looking back, I feel like a completely different person. Some good reasons, some not. Honestly, I don't even know where to begin. Basically, I've been in and out of therapy, like I say, a long time now, and I'm coming up to finishing my therapy again. By the time I've uploaded this, I might have already finished my therapy. And I've been in that lot of therapy for about 6 months, I want to say. And I honestly thought that it was going to fix a lot more than it did. If you don't know, when I was 19 I left work because of my mental illnesses, and I was not at a place that I should have continued working. So I'm not unhappy with my decision to leave work, and as much as I'm not proud of the fact that I don't work and I'd love to be able to feel up to doing that, that's not the point of what I'm trying to say. But one of my big hopes in going through therapy this time was that it would fix how I felt about that, and that it would change me into this person who is all of a sudden really reliable and really accountable. Basically a good employee. Like, I thought I was going to go through therapy this time and feel ready to start working again and have all these really big life changes happen, and that's just not happened. Over the past year, I feel like I've learned a lot, and you probably know, if you've watched my lessons from therapy video, you'll know that the biggest thing I've kind of learned from that is to find this level of peace in yourself, because that way nobody can take it away from you, and you trust yourself, you respect yourself. If you put a lot of work into trusting that you're a safe space for yourself and you have this level of peace in yourself, basically it just helps a lot fall into place around you. And so in terms of that, I feel like I've done a lot of work and it's really good. I also feel like I have done an awful lot of healing from the shit that I've been through. And that was one of my hopes, that I would go through therapy and the hard things in life wouldn't feel so difficult anymore. Basically, whenever conversations or whenever it just came up for me, like the hard shit that I've been through, or whenever other hardships came up and, you know, kind of dragged other shit up with it, like, it wouldn't affect me as bad. And I feel like for the most part I've dealt with the hard shit that I've been through and it doesn't massively bother me anymore. There's probably some parts that are still triggering almost, but I kind of wouldn't even put that word to it because I understand it in a different way, if that makes sense. I feel like my understanding of my journey as a person, what I've been through in my life so far, is pretty clear to me now, and I can understand it and I don't need to keep revisiting it. And that's really nice to have that. And it's also really nice, and I'm very grateful that I have this level of peace inside myself now. One thing I didn't expect is how hard it is to set boundaries with yourself and with other people. I hate rejection, I hate rejecting other people, and I hate feeling it myself. I feel like it's so awkward, it's so uncomfortable, and I don't like it. That's something that I'm slowly starting to come to terms with as well, that like, it doesn't make me a bad person to say no sometimes, or to say I don't want to do that. And I know that might seem very simple to some people, but for me that's been a hard thing to learn and implement. But yeah, therapy is coming to an end and I feel like I've not really gained much. Even though I've just spoke about all that, I almost feel like I would have done that on my own. And that's not me saying that I didn't need any professional help, like, I've got this, I'm super smart, like, no. I've had a lot of times without therapy where I really wished that I had it, but I didn't, and there was no hurrying up services, you know, there was nothing I could do to get seen quicker. And in those really hard times where I didn't have a lot of self-worth, I didn't care if I lived or not, like, I had to deal with that myself. And when you're in that moment yourself and you can see how much it's affecting the people around you, you either feel worse and more sad and more depressed and more suicidal in some cases, or it makes you want to push on more and think, no, I don't want to make people around me feel like this anymore, I don't want to be that person anymore, I want to change. And that's what it was for me. I feel like that alone would have been enough to push me to find this level of peace in myself. And yes, it has been very helpful to have therapy alongside doing that, because it can be quite difficult. So yeah, I hope you know what I'm saying. But if you have been around since I started my channel in 2020, then you'll know that I used to really be very open about everything that I was going through. And it was just a nice outlet for me, and I didn't worry about who was taking what from my videos or what I was saying, or if I was saying too much. I didn't worry about that, and I guess there's good and bad to that. But recently I've not been very open at all. If anything, now I find it awkward to be open about it because it feels wrong. So that is something I'm working on, is trying to be a little bit more open about how I feel and not feeling so scared of the world. And I know that sounds really silly as well, but like, I feel like the last couple of years I've had some pretty big betrayals of like, I didn't see that coming, if you know what I mean. Like, people do shit to you that you didn't even think they would ever do. And that to me kind of just pulled the rug from underneath me, and I haven't really felt like I could trust anyone properly since. Obviously apart from like my boyfriend and maybe a couple of other people. But for the most part, I haven't trusted people since then. And so the concept of coming on here and talking as openly as I used to, it just hasn't felt right. But because I've got this level of peace inside myself now, and most of my triggers are dealt with, obviously I'm still human, some stuff's gonna come up, but what I'm trying to say is I feel confident to come on here and talk about stuff, and that it's not gonna get the better of me. In all honesty, I think I do miss the person that I was in 2020 and how much I shared, because it was very refreshing and it was nice for me to be able to do, but it also helped other people. Whereas I feel like I've gone off the rails and I've not really spoke to anyone or really reached out to anyone in like 2 years. And it's weird to come back to a point where like there's nobody waiting for you. I guess what I'm trying to say is you see all these influencers who are like, right guys, I've taken a break and I'll be back, and they have people waiting on them. They have people waiting on their return. Whereas for me, I didn't have that because obviously a few people watch my videos, but not a lot. And so it kind of just felt very surreal and foreign to come back to filming. And it also felt quite lonely, and it's sometimes quite pointless because it's like, who am I putting these videos out to? But again, with that, I have to remember that not everything I do is for other people's judgment. Like, my videos are for me to get stuff off my chest, for me to be creative, for me to edit them and have fun doing so. Like, that's what it's for. And it'd be really cool if it helped someone else. But at the end of the day, my understanding when making videos is that it's a good outlet for me. So yeah, I really hope you're following what I'm saying. But yeah, therapy is coming to an end, and in some ways I feel like I've learned a lot and I've taken a lot, but in other ways I feel like I am literally the same person going out as when I was going in there. Especially on my channel now, I'm going to try and be more open like I used to be. Maybe not to the full extent, I don't know yet. But it felt nice to come on and just get stuff off my chest and talk about stuff and almost like reclaim this space and say, I don't care who's watching, take what you want. Thank you for watching. Thanks for listening if you did. Bye.